O Great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye pathmakers of old, ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of our bloodlines, our friendship lines, our spiritual lines, all of our adopted lineages, namaste. O ye beings of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, namaste. Om Shri Babaji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasaya Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Shali Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Swami Kriyananda Ji Ya Namaha. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, come forth, be with us, bless us. Bless us yet again and again and again. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha, our meditation. Once upon a yogi time. Ouch! Cried the young girl. Mommy, mommy, mommy. Oh, he hit me, cried the young boy. Mommy, mommy, mommy. Mother, you don't know what he did. He hurt me so badly. They made fun of me. They left me out. I overheard them saying something mean about me. Mother, cried the teenager. That girl was mean to me. I like her so much I don't know what to say to her. Help me, Mother, said the teenage boy. My children forgot me. They left me. They left me alone. They left me alone at the holidays. They don't remember my birthday. They don't remember Mother's Day. They don't remember me, my children, said the old widow, again and again and again and again. And on the day that they invited her to join them, it was not enough. It was not enough. Her friend came the next day and said, "How was it? Isn't it nice you got to go and celebrate with them?" No, this was wrong. That was wrong. This was wrong. And the hurts piled up. The complaints piled up. The hurts piled up. And the years went by. And every year, the fall equinox came, leading to the winter solstice. And as the winter solstice came closer and closer, all of these hurts which had been buried, all of these hurts which had not been seen, rose again to the surface. The boy, a man of 50 now, smelled a scent and remembered the hurt. Remembered the young woman who would not go on the date, the young woman who turned her back on him, who would not dance with him. The young girl, a woman of 80, remembered the hurts, remembered everything her daughter failed to do, everything. She would sit and the thoughts would come up. The closer it became to Christmas. She was a widow. The closer it came to Christmas, the more she felt lonely. The closer it came to the end of the year, the New Year's, the more that she felt sad and lonely. And everybody that she saw, she would tell how sad and lonely she was. And nobody could heal her. Nobody could heal the man. Nobody could heal the young woman who cried, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, mother, mother, mother." What is to be done? For you and I are the same. We have those hurts. The little thing, the time for me when I was 7 years old and somebody looked at me and said, "You have a funny nose." You have to look really closely, but there's a little something at the end of my nose. For years, I could hear that little girl's voice. Before that, I had never had any idea that anybody would think I had a funny nose. But every once in a while, that memory rises in the mind. For you, what is it? What is not the one thing, but the many, the many, the many? Those small, small, small experiences when somebody spoke to you less than kindly, when somebody ignored you, when somebody hurt your feelings by some small thing that they did. And I'm not talking, my beloved, about the big things in life. I'm not talking about the time that, that was a big problem, but the small embarrassments, the small shames, the small feelings of not being good enough. I was with a dear friend yesterday, someone whom I have a great deal of respect for and is extremely talented in many, many ways. And we were talking about the mind, and he said, "I'm a very insecure person." And I looked at him and I said, "Really?" "Oh, yes, I'm a very insecure person." And then he proceeds to tell me. And I said, for all the decades I've known you, I would not have ever used that adjective to describe you. Never, not once would I have used that, would I have thought that of your personality. All of us have some degree within us, maybe we don't want to see it, but some degree of lack or of hurt. And it comes out this time of the year. Now, you might have heard me say last week, well, it comes out because you're with people that you aren't usually with. And I think that's true. It comes out because you're with family or you're missing family. You're missing longing for the past or imagining the past as you think it was when it was not really like that. And so what is to be done? Something must be done to heal these hurts. If they continue to come up year after year after year, decade after decade, we feed them. We feed them. We continue to feed them as we go forth, and we remember again and again and again and again the hurt, the little hurt, the little embarrassment, the thing that you didn't do, or that someone did not do for you, or did in your presence, and you picked it up. You picked up the hurt, you picked up the problem. Now remember, it's easy to say no one can hurt you unless you let them, but it is true. They cannot hurt you unless you enter into that and pick up the thought, oh yeah, took me a long time as a little girl, a young girl, to looking in the mirror, and I remember Mom catching me one day. What are you doing? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my nose. Honey, there's nothing wrong with your nose. Nothing wrong with your nose at all. That wasn't enough. Now I've learned to laugh, to say, oh yeah, I think maybe I see what she said, but I'm not really sure. But the most important thing was, it was the first time in my life, that little experience at 7 years old in second grade, it was the first time in my life that somebody had looked at my physical body and said that there was something wrong with it in their eyes. They looked at the form of my body and said there was something wrong with it. When we hurt other people, we look at them and we're saying they're wrong. Their behavior is wrong. Their thinking is wrong. Maybe their clothes are wrong. Maybe the shape of their body is wrong. And we judge, 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 without any recognition that this is what the mind is doing. Without any saying, no. No. That is not helpful. I should not be doing that. Now you know the story. A little yogi who goes into the forest. And in this forest, he finds a village in the center. And in the village, everyone is hanging on to their thorn bush. And those thorn bushes are all the hurts of your life. All of those things that you have not been able to forgive and to forget. Now here's the thing that I'm trying to say today that I think is distinct from what you might expect. It is the little hurts. The big hurts you think about and you're going to forgive. Do the forgiveness ritual. Well, they really were a son of a gun, or they did this or they did that. Those you can forgive. It's the little hurts that crop up at the unexpected times, 15 years later, 20 years later, 25 years later, and you see the memory track of the body and you say, my goodness, wow, how did that come to my consciousness? How did I remember that? How did I remember that? And you must do something about it, because those accumulate, and so become like a little yogi who walked into the forest and saw the village of people and said, it's very cold here. Why don't we take all of our thorn bushes, he said, himself included, and build a big fire and gather around the fire and sing and dance and chant and forgive and neutralize all the hurts. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Let them go up into the flame. Let them become the fire that ignites the flame of Kriya within all in the village. You and I, we can do this. We can do this today, now, as we are approaching this sacred time of the solstice. The time to turn inward, the time to reflect, the time to stop. What is happening for me now? What's happening for you now? What are the things that you're becoming aware of? many decades ago, I goofed. Many times I goofed, but this was one time I really goofed. Really, really goofed. And I went to my guru and I said, I really botched this up, At this time, I can't even tell you what it was. I don't remember. I remember, which is a good thing. I remember that I really botched it up. And I was very sad because I didn't think that I would have a time to correct it, to do something different. And he said with the greatest love and warmth in his face and his eyes, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know it needs to be corrected. And trust me, you're going to have an opportunity again. The karma will come again. Life is cyclical. It's not linear, my beloved. It is cyclical. And so the hurt that you had when you were 12, you'll have the opportunity to see that. Now, if you heal it and you transform it, as we do with Kriya, that's the whole point of Kriya Yoga, is to soften and transform your karma. If you heal it, if you transform it, all will be well. No problem. And when the karma comes around again, the hurt will not be there, but you'll be able to do something differently. That's what matters, to do something differently. This is the time of the year that we become aware of, I would hope that you become aware of life and the cycles and the patterns of life and the patterns of karma. We come together. You come together, I come together. People are in your life. They come into your life. The karma is similar. The karma melds, it meshes for you. And you walk along together for a week, a month, a year, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 50 years, some even 70 years, 72 usually. And then the karma splits, the road splits. But along the way, you can have an experience with someone where they're in your life very intensely. And then the two of you, your karma shifts and you go off in different directions. It does not mean there's anything that's wrong. It simply means that the karma has shifted. That's all. That's all. And it may come back again. In fact, if you love the person, it will come back again. If you dislike the person, it will come back even faster and more furiously than when the karma first manifested for you together. Remember that. It's important to see that and to say, well, yes, come together, here's the solstice time, and you see people you don't see usually, perhaps, or you don't see them. But often what happens is that this is the time, because it's a triggering mechanism. The time is a triggering mechanism. And the mechanism is that you've entered in the time, and all of a sudden, the ghosts of the past wish to rise again. And Pranananda says the ghosts of the past are living again now within you. The ghosts of the past are living and will live again within you. And so there must be something that we do. And there is. The great, great freedom comes from using forgiveness. I'm going to give you the ritual again in a moment. But this is important. Sometimes we think, that's not a big thing. I don't have to do the forgiveness ritual for that. It's too much of a pain in the neck. Why would I do that? Until you make it part of your daily sadhana. And you realize making the forgiveness ritual part of your daily sadhana has a great benefit to you, because you begin to observe during your day what you are thinking, what you are saying, what you are doing, and the tone in which you are thinking, saying, and doing. And knowing, if I speak a little harshly, I'm going to do the forgiveness ritual. You know, the ritual is not very short. I mean, it's short, but you have to put some energy into it. And so the mind starts to say, it's a lot easier if I'm kind. It's a lot easier if I zip it until I know how to say something kind. It's a lot easier if I think of the other before I act, speak, or think. And so the forgiveness ritual is a great, great blessing. But with that must come, before that, preceding that, must come the commitment to yourself to let it go. Now, I did not say, I almost said, but I didn't say, the willingness to let it go, to let the hurt go. I didn't say that. I said the commitment to yourself to let it go. And that means you can say, well, I really would like to let this go. I commit to myself that I'm going to find a way to let this go. Doesn't mean you want to. All right. It doesn't mean you want to forgive the other person. It doesn't mean you have any inclination to forgive the other person. It means that you want to be happier and more content in your life more than you want to be unhappy. Or as, Pranananda always said, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? That feeling of, I want to be right, I want to be right, I want to be right. Oh, my beloved. It has so many permutations, on and on and on and on and on. I want to be right, I want to be right, I want to be right, I want to be right. It's a filter through which you can walk and live your life. It's a filter through which you can see and which is extremely harmful, painful to one's soul, to oneself. And the best, perhaps one of the best ways to get past that is to just say, I want to be happy. And I'm making a vow, a commitment to myself to do what it takes to be happy when I don't want to, even when I don't want to. So you sit down and you're going to do forgiveness ritual. The first thing is, before you do that, I'm willing to let this go. At least I commit that I'm going to try to let it go. I was talking to my guru a few years back. I guess I've got Kriya on the mind today, as always, but today particularly. And I said, in a very inappropriate way, well, I know, Guruji, that you're trying to let this go. It was a problem we were discussing. And he said, no, Swamiji, I let it go weeks ago. You're the one that hasn't let it go. You're the one that's trying. Now, what's the problem? What's the problem? Because letting go means opening the hands, opening the mind, letting go. It does not mean opening the hand and clinging. It doesn't mean opening the hand just a little bit. Oh well, I'm gonna keep this part of the hurt just a little bit, so I remember what a son of a gun they are. I'm gonna keep that. No. It means fini. Neutralize it. It does not mean clinging to any part of it. And the mind is so funny. it really, really wants, well, I'm going to forgive them, but I'm going to forgive this, but a lot of buts that the mind can come up with. And so commit to yourself that you're going to do your best, your very best, to let these hurts go. You're going to use all the ritual you know, all the chanting you know, all the affirmations you know, to let it go. All the journaling you know, the reflections you know, to let it go. All this is internal. It's always internal. It's always you taking action within yourself to make a change. If you want to be free, you must be willing to do the work to free yourself. You know the story. Out in the middle of the mountains in Japan, big prison was built. Very thick walls, big prison was built. And they put the worst of the worst people in this prison. They take them up the hills, they take them up the mountains. Oh, on a donkey, walking. It was very difficult to get up there. Very, very difficult. High in the mountains. They got there, they had to work the land to get the food made, and year after year after year, the criminals would stay there. The ones who had been put there by society, or by themselves, if you will. No one ever left. No one ever left. One day, wouldn't you know it, somebody was out with a sickle. You know, it was pretty big prison. They had some fields out there that was covered in the prison, and they were using the sickle to cut down the harvest that they were going to take to feed themselves. And somebody accidentally came up to the wall, and they hit the wall accidentally. And they looked, and there was a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. How did the hole get there? Through the metal, the stone. How did it get there? How did the sickle make a hole in it? Smart man. Hits it again. Hits it again. Hits it again. The hole gets bigger. Guess what? Guess what? The entire prison was made of paper, cardboard, packed together. Not stone, not metal, no rock, no metal. Thick walls of cardboard. Once had tried to break through, to get through. Now you guess, how does that story end? Does the man keep trying to get through until he sees the way out? Or does he stay? Does he go to the front gate and try to get out? Or does he stay? For the front gate was not locked. They knew not. They never tried. They were imprisoned by their own thoughts. They were imprisoned by their belief systems, their beliefs. And this is something else that's coming up this time of the year. You're going to be with people, you're going to see people, you're going to be on social media, and you're going to see, they believe differently than I do. They believe differently than I do. Can I accept their right to believe the way they want to? Or does it have to be my way all the time? And really, this just takes the ability to sit and say, well, really, What's the habit of my mind? What is the habit of my mind? Does my mind want everybody to believe the way I do? Now, the answer is, of course, unless you have trained it otherwise. Unless you have trained it otherwise. And so I've said several things to you this morning. I've said that the small hurts, you've all experienced this, walking down the street and you get a pebble in your shoe, a little tiny pebble in your shoe. And it's uncomfortable, not a big pebble, but just a little tiny pebble. But if you don't stop and take it out of your shoe, that pebble can create a wound on your foot. You can be limping by the time you've been walking a little ways. It's not a big rock, it's a little pebble. And these are the little experiences that cause bitterness to arise in the personality, that cause resentment to arise. I think bitterness and resentment, anger can arise. These emotions can arise in the mind from the little hurts. The hurts in which you don't remember why you're angry at the person. You don't remember what they did exactly, but you know that they were bad and they did something to hurt you. Your beliefs are the prison that you are within. Your beliefs, your thoughts can free you or imprison you. Kriya says that you have the capacity within yourself to find joy, to find happiness, to find the bliss of life, if you so choose to do so. If you so choose to do so. And so, let us talk about the forgiveness ritual and why that can be so important this time of the year and what can accompany it. First, again, as I said, the commitment to yourself that you're willing to give up these thorn bushes, you're willing to give up these hurts. You're willing to put them in a flame. You're willing to put them in the light of Kriya. You're willing to put them in the light divine which exists within you. You're willing to use tapas, your spiritual energy, to build that fire internally, to neutralize the karma. Again, you take a seed, the story of the guru who tells the disciples, bring the seeds to me. And they put the seed in the fire, just for a minute. Take the seeds out that were in the fire, and they plant seeds that were in the fire, seeds that were not in the fire. And the seeds that were within the fire do not blossom. They have lost, by putting them to the fire, they have lost their capacity to blossom, to grow. Very important. Very important. You do your spiritual discipline, and the karmic seeds, the negativity, the difficulty, the anger, the high degree of emotionality, it's neutralized. It will not grow. But what will grow is kindness and wisdom and love and joy and happiness and contentment and understanding of the nature of life. You have all of that within you. And so this time is a time to say, yes, I do. I do. I will nurture myself. I will care for myself. And I will do that which needs to be done for myself. Now, the ritual is very simple. The next new moon, which is the 23rd of December, 2 days before we will join together on the 25th. The night before the new moon, if you've never done this before, the night before the new moon at midnight, you go into a darkened room. It may seem like a lot of hoo-yah, but it's not. It's very important. The room is dark, you're by yourself. Thus, you have the utmost privacy. Nobody is going to be seeing or hearing what you're doing. And you sit and you allow your mind to begin to daydream. Let the mind begin to wander. And the first person that comes to your mind, first event, first thing that comes to your mind that hurts, that needs forgiving, you look at it and you do this ritual for it. Now, yes, you can say, well, I know I need to forgive Johnny Jones or Susie Q or Betty Lou. But this is a little different. This is saying, I trust that at this moment, the event, the person, the people involved, I will see them. My mind will release for me that which is most important at this moment, to forgive. Every moment is new. Every moment is new. And you untie a knot and the whole thread can untie. Every moment is new. And so you begin, because it's at midnight, you're facing north. And you say, I forgive you. I forgive you for everything you have done in thought, in word, in deed, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally. To hurt me. I forgive you. May the hurt be healed. May the karma be dissolved. You see the person. You turn from north to west, from west to south, from south to east. You repeat the same thing. You turn back to north, and then you stop. Bring the incident up in the mind's eye. Please forgive me for everything I have done, in thought, in word, in deed, to hurt you, to offend you, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally. I am deeply and truly sorry. May the hurt be healed. May the karma be dissolved. And then you turn again, north, west, south, east, back to north. Repeating, say every time repeating, slowly repeating. And then you look, what happened? Do I need to do it again? Is it taken care of? Do I need to do it again? Is it taken care of? What do I need to do? And it may be that one time alone will take care of it. And you breathe. Now, always remember, the next day you'll wake up and you may find that the mind, you'll feel, is the mind gluey? Is it sticky? Is there a repetitiveness? Does the incident come back? Do the people, does the problem come back? And if it does, then once you've done this ritual at midnight, you can do it at any time of the day or night. And in time when you're doing it, you can do it, wherever you are, just sit quietly and do it. Nobody knows what's going on here. That's for sure. There's a difference between habit and the gluiness of the karma. So if you find the minds of habit, it's repeating it again, neti, 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 neti. Do not pick up the thought again. Do not pick up the pattern again. Free yourself from it. What would you be? Who would you be? What would your life be like if you let go of all these hurts and all the difficulties? What would you be like? You know, I began by saying all these hurts the children called mommy, mommy, mommy. Why would they call mom? Why would they call mommy? Because for many of us as children, that's the soul that you look to, that can unconditionally love you, that unconditionally loves you, and can fix things for you. Fix them. There's a problem. Mommy can fix it. Daddy can fix it. Usually mommy is the emotional. And that is the moon. So whether the moon is represented in a man's body or a woman's body, it's the moon. It's the emotional nature. It's the nurturing nature that helps us. That is within you. And so to become mature in life, one needs to be able to nurture one's self. On this day when the moon is in Cancer, it's a good day to remember the mother, a good day to remember nurturing yourself. Now, as you do the forgiveness ritual, there's got to be something that comes after. Has to be something that comes after. And you need to find the light of life. You need to find the sweetness of life. You need to find and cultivate the sweetness. And we'll talk about that next week. The sweetness, how to cultivate the sweetness, how to find and see the sweetness of life. Begin, my beloved, as you walk further to the solstice, closer to the solstice, truly letting go of those hurts. You can classify them if you want. Build your bonfire, your spiritual bonfire. Group them. What, when, where, how, why, and which. Group them astrologically. Group them by the 12 houses of the zodiac. But do something. Do something. Do not let this moment that you're stopping this day be the only time in your week that you devote to yourself. Meditate, 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 meditate. Let no thing come between you and your meditation. And let us go and spend our last bit of time together meditating. Namaste. Sit with your spine erect, hands on the thighs in the Om Mudra, the index finger and thumb together. The other fingers pointed towards your spine and facing upward. Sit with your feet on the ground, unless you're sitting in a yoga posture. Turning your head to the left, exhale twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch your breath. Use the sipping breath. Pull the energy from the limbs to the trunk. from the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move the energy out as a golden ball of light. Expand it. Sweep around to the left, encasing your entire being in golden light. And do this 2 more times. And now ascend upward, above the room, above the building, above the city, above the continent. Ascend upward as high as you are able. Ascend to the high place. In the high place, you see in front of you a path. Enter into that path. It is ascending upward. The path opens wide into a meadow. It continues through the meadow. Ascending again into the forest. Walking with ease through the forest, up the mountain. Hear the water next to you. See the berries peeking through the leaves. Keep ascending until you reach a clearing. As you reach the clearing, you can see into the distance. The trees as if infinity. Feel the blessing of the trees coming towards you. These beautiful healing pines. Send forth your blessings to all of these beings. Send forth your blessings to all of the trees, the tree beings in front of you, that they will know and remember The healing energy of the pines wafts toward you. The Kriya currents from the spine, the pines pour forth upon you. You see in the clearing that they have made a shrine. The pine trees have made a shrine, blessing the land, blessing the shrine. You walk into the shrine, invited by them to enter. The cool air filled with the smell, the scent that they release to heal you. And as you walk towards the back of the shrine, there is a special place, an enclave. The ancient pines have gathered there, pouring forth their light for you to enter. Thus you enter the circle and feel the light and the Kriya currents from those beings, the pine beings, the spruces, the evergreens of all types. They're pouring their blessings upon you. Breathe in their blessings. Feel them pouring upon your crown center. As the blessings pour forth upon you, the hurts of the past are dissolved away. The small hurts, the large hurts, as you allow them to go, they are dissolved away. Breathe in the blessings. Feel the light pouring down upon you, pouring to you from all directions. Mother Gaia herself is blessing you with her sacred tree beams. When you are ready, bow to all these beings who have blessed you. And when they are in need, they will remember the goodness that they have given unto you at this moment. when you are in need, that you will remember the goodness that you have received at this moment. Walk forth from this sacred space. The trees part way to let you see the path to return to the high place. Return to your place of meditation. Om Gam, Om Aim, Om Hrim. Ramanandam, Paramasukadam, Kevalanyanamutim, Avaditam, Triguna-rahitam, Sadgurum Tam Namame, Chaitanyam Shasvatam Shantam, Nirakalam Nirandalam, Nada Bindu Kalatitam, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprabhanjaya Shantaya Niralamlaya Tejase. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Be thou blessed, be thou blessed, be thou triply blessed. Feel the golden dewdrops of Ananda pouring down upon your crown center and filling every cell of your being. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Namaste. Namaskar. It is a joy to see you, to be with you, to spend this day with you. Shanti. Namaste.